Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx absolutely destroyed Donald Trump. It's gonna get ridiculous. Let's unpack this.
Holy that's how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
I've been working on my Trump. It's a lot of great people. Lots of great people on both sides. Excuse me. Fake reviews. Fake reviews.
What happens when Donald all caps Trump meets two comedy snipers with mics instead of rifles? Let's just say it's not a fair fight, and Trump ends up looking like a soggy Big Mac under a heat lamp. Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx didn't just roast him, they flambéed the man. And judging by the orange rage tweets that followed, the burn was real. The guy who loves dishing it out suddenly couldn't handle it when two legends turned him into a punchline. A sweaty, rambling, delusional punchline with a side of spray tan. And here's the wild part, the jokes? They weren't even that far from the truth.
Yo, Trump is he's like a dominant female boxer. He's like Ronda Rousey. You're like, God damn it, she can fight. And then you go, oh, she hitting girls.
Jamie,
Canada's gonna be with us soon. Canada will be with America very soon. I love Canada dry. I don't like Canada wet. I like Canada dry.
We want Canada to adopt America.
I like Canada.
At least California.
Canada's gonna be with us. They're gonna be the 36th state. There's 50, sorry. 30, whatever. I don't do math. Everyone knows that I like.
Please, this isn't just stand-up, it's political autopsy with punchlines. Jamie Foxx's Trump impression, so painfully accurate it might have triggered a national emergency in Mar-a-Lago. Rock, meanwhile, breaks Trump down like he's explaining a particularly aggressive raccoon to a confused suburban dad. And the best part, this was just the opening act.
The cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this crazy.
Chris Rock didn't see Trump as a political movement or some rising populist star. He saw exactly what Trump actually is, a loud, confused game show host who somehow tripped over a podium and landed in the Oval Office. While cable news was scrambling to figure out how did this happen, Rock had the answer years ago. The guy who fired Meat Loaf on reality TV is now in charge of the nuclear codes. We're living in a deleted SNL sketch. Before Trump became the country's worst group project, he was already a parody of himself. Gold toilets, mail order steaks, casinos with the lifespan of a TikTok trend. He was always a cartoon character in a bad suit. And Chris Rock, he saw that punchline coming like a teleprompter in Times Square. Trump wasn't a surprise, he was inevitable in the most cringe way possible. But Rock doesn't stop at Trump, he zooms out, dragging the entire system that let this man-child ascend like it was some kind of overdue joke on American democracy.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African American in the world, the richest African American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right, he is African American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
That's vintage Rock. One-liners so sharp they draw blood, but with enough truth to make you pause mid-laugh. He's not just roasting Trump's clown car presidency, he's torching the cult of billionaires, the fame chasers, the people who think owning a private jet means you're automatically qualified to run a country. And when Trump actually became president, oh, it was open season. The word salad speeches, the unhinged tweets, the scandals that piled up like failed business ventures. It was like the country had hired a stand-up comic who didn't realize he was the joke. But Rock got it. He always got it. And he turned the mega circus into a comedy set, one where every laugh stings just a little bit deeper.
Be a war hero that got captured. I don't want to vote for nobody that got captured. I want to vote for that got away.
Trump, who rarely, if ever, apologizes for anything, sounded like he's softening a little on McCain.
And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly.
On the Kelly file, McCain's daughter Meghan couldn't be angrier.
My father has been in public office since before I was born, and this is one of the grossest, most disgusting comments I've ever heard, which is really saying something. I'm 30 years old. And it's because it's not just an attack on my father. It's an attack on all veterans, and it's an attack on all.
Chris Rock didn't pull punches, he threw haymakers, and this one landed right on the spray-tanned jawline. Trump mocking John McCain's POW status was one of those moments that should have ended a political career. But of course, in Trump world, scandals aren't disqualifiers, they're PR strategies, and yet you could tell it stung. Trump, the man who never apologizes, suddenly doing verbal gymnastics, offering the least convincing walkback in modern political history. Hopefully I said it correctly. What is that? An apology or a Yelp review for his own soundbite? And Meghan McCain, she exploded. Rightfully so, because this wasn't just a jab at her dad, it was an insult aimed at every single American who's ever worn a uniform. And coming from a man whose most dangerous combat experience was probably trying to eat a taco bowl without staining his tie, it was downright shameful. But that's the Trump formula. Pretend you're one of the people while living in a palace and somehow trick struggling Americans into thinking you get them. It's like a billionaire dressing up as a Walmart greeter for Halloween. Absurd, insulting, and deeply unserious. And Rock knew this. That's what made his comedy sting. He didn't just clown Trump. He went after the entire ecosystem that let this mess happen. The brown nosers, the media cheerleaders, the GOP spine removal specialists. And nothing rattles Trump more than being turned into a punchline, especially one that sticks.
It's not playing. They got Elon. They're going to put him in a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's gonna marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
That's the genius of Chris Rock. He doesn't just hit Trump. He peels back the layers of this national fever dream like he's filleting a very sweaty, very confused onion. The endless legal drama, the pity party campaign rallies, the rants that sound like rejected QVC promos. Rock laid it all out, and it was brutal. Because let's be honest, post-presidency Trump isn't some dignified statesman. He's a washed-up band on tour, still trying to sing his one hit from 2016, and somehow still demanding a standing ovation.
You think a lot of parents would, encourage their children's kind of high aspirations.
Yes.
But like you told your mom,
when I was a kid, before I wanted to be a comedian, my dream was to be the president of the United States. It's the only real job I ever wanted. Okay? Only time I wanted an office. I wanted to be the president of the United States. And I told my mother, and she's like.
But then came the line that sent Trump's blood pressure into orbit. One joke, one metaphor so brutally accurate, even his most loyal bootlickers had to cough out a laugh. Rock compared Trump's legal drama to a deadbeat dad dodging child support. Excuses, finger pointing, crocodile tears, and then shock when the judge shows up with paperwork. Lawsuits, investigations, indictments, they're stacking up like one-star reviews at a Trump steakhouse. Rock didn't exaggerate, he didn't need to. The truth was funnier and way more painful. And of course, the meltdown came. Twitter tantrums, rants about woke comedians, and the inevitable Chris Rock is irrelevant spin, the MAGA way of saying that joke hurt my feelings.
It's not playing. They got Elon. They're going to put him in a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's going to marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
Ah yes, the Space Mech strategy. Pure Trumpian logic at its finest. Send Elon to Mars, deport Jennifer Lopez, and confuse your base just enough to call it a win. But see, that's the playbook. Deflect, deny, insult, repeat. Trump doesn't really fight back. He flails, but here's the beautiful part. Chris Rock doesn't need to hit back. The joke already did the damage, because once that kind of punchline hits air, it lives rent-free in the nation's head, right next to Trump's unpaid taxes and his failed vodka brand. And just when Trump thought the roast was over, enter Jamie Foxx. If Rock hit Trump with a scalpel, Foxx showed up with a flamethrower, because if there's one thing Trump absolutely cannot handle, it's being mocked in a way that feels too real. And Foxx, he doesn't just imitate Trump, he becomes him. It's so accurate, it's disturbing. Like watching a haunted wax figure come to life and rant about windmills. He nails every Trumpism, the glitchy pauses like he's buffering, the double talk when he's clearly lost, the emotional roller coaster from smug to sad in under 10 seconds. It's not an impression, it's a psychological takedown in HD.
The great people, lots of great people on bus. I love London. London falling down.
I just gotta tell you that you better bet your batch. Because I also do a Donald Trump impression. Jamie Foxx, the greatest Fox in the wilderness. Great guy.
Yes. Do you have the yell? There. You gotta get the yell. They tried to give me the virus. You know what he does there? I beat the virus. They tried to give me.
What Jamie Foxx unleashed wasn't just hilarious, it was devastating. He didn't just mimic Trump's voice, he replicated the entire MAGA state of mind, the chaotic nonsense, the mystery, strong guys he always references but never names, the courtroom drama where somehow everyone but Trump is the criminal, the ego, the incoherence, the accidental confessions, all of it, perfectly baked into one chaotic, rambling monologue that felt too real. And when Foxx started responding to questions in character, the crowd lost it because he didn't exaggerate a thing. There was no parody, it was just pure, unfiltered Trump logic. Like they cracked open his Twitter drafts folder and poured it into a microphone. Someone asked about Chris Rock's joke, and without missing a beat, Foxx as Trump answered, "Chris Rock? He's not funny anymore, folks. He used to be funny, one of the greats. Now, sad. Just very sad." It was too flawless, and you know Trump saw it. You know he hated it. If Rock's punchlines were a gut punch, Foxx's impression was a full-length mirror held up to a man who spent his entire life avoiding reflection, and suddenly had no choice but to look.
I have to say, Jamie, before you go, yours is not as good as mine. Can you try it out?
A lot of great people.
You're a disaster.
And just like that, he was gone. Jamie Foxx didn't just do an impression, he became the walking conspiracy theory in a suit, because this is what Trump actually sounds like. That disjointed, rambling nonsense you just heard, it's not exaggerated, it's not comedy, it's verbatim Trump. And that's what makes it lethal. You can argue with a joke, you can deny a headline, but how do you punch back at a mirror? That's why Trump went full meltdown. Wild rants, deflection, yelling about woke comedians on Truth Social like it's a hostage note written in caps lock. But the damage? Already done. Foxx didn't need to say anything new. He just let Trump's own persona implode under the weight of itself, because this impression, it wasn't a sketch. It wasn't some SNL parody with a bad wig and orange face paint. No, this was surgical and devastating. Then came the clip, the one that broke the internet. Jamie Foxx sitting casually among friends, and then, boom, Trump, instantly, perfectly, no setup, no warning, just pure MAGA gibberish funneled through comedic genius.
It's a lot of great people. Lots of great people on both sides. That's all I can say. Excuse me, fake news. Fake news. They're trying to give me.
He launched straight into the delusion spiral, taking credit for everything from the economy to oxygen like he personally created it all in a gold-plated lab. Foxx leaned in harder. People are saying, very smart people, I invented comedy. Nobody did jokes before me. Tremendous jokes. The best jokes. People are laughing, folks. It's incredible. And then, the derailment, because every Trump speech eventually devolves into the same word salad. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually built the pyramids. It's true. Very strong. The best pyramids. Biden? He doesn't even have pyramids. At this point, Jamie Foxx wasn't imitating. He was channeling, and it was viciously accurate. Then came the fake tragedy spin. They told me the fire was my fault. It's not my fault. Horrible fire, really. But a lot of people are saying it was Antifa. Could be China, could be Obama. We're looking into it. And that is when it hit hardest, because it wasn't just a joke. It was a full-body expose of Trump's entire operating system, the contradictions, the ego, the inability to complete a sentence without either bragging or blaming. Foxx wasn't mocking a man. He was stripping away the illusion, showing everyone that underneath the suit, the podium, the flags is just a babbling mess of insecurities, lies, and catchphrases. The internet went nuts. Even people who normally scroll past political content stopped and asked, wait, does he actually sound like that? Spoiler, yes, he does, because Trump can survive a lot: bankruptcies, lawsuits, fake universities. But what he cannot survive is being laughed at. Mockery is his kryptonite, and impressions, those are the death blow. They turn the emperor's voice into a joke and remind everyone that the genius behind the curtain is just another insecure guy shouting fake news into the void. And Jamie Foxx? He didn't just hold up a mirror, he shattered it.
Therefore, I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
That's right, I said it. I said it. It had to be said.
Somebody got this.
Jamie didn't twist anything. He didn't need to. He just repeated Trump's own words with Trump's own voice and made the absurdity crystal clear to anyone not trapped in a MAGA group chat. Because when Foxx speaks like Trump, what you're hearing isn't a parody. It's reality turned up just one notch. And suddenly everyone sees the chaos Trump's been selling as strong leadership. The weird, misplaced bravado, the sentences that collapse halfway through, the desperate, sweaty need to sound important, even when he's saying literally nothing. And how did Trump react? You already know. Meltdown mode activated. Cue the tantrums. Cue the nasty Hollywood elite whining. Cue the people love my voice. Routine like he's auditioning for The Voice, Dictator edition. Then came the truth social meltdown, where Trump tried and failed to prove Foxx wrong by sounding exactly like the impression. He couldn't help himself, because that's the thing about comedy. You can't out-tweet it, you can't fire it, and you definitely can't executive order it out of existence.
It's a lot of great people on both sides. I love Cameron. I love Cameron Diaz. She's great. I love all of her movies. I love Charlie's Angel. I feel like I'm a Charlie.
By the way, the best Trump I've ever seen.
Excuse me, fake news.
And that's what makes this whole thing so devastating. Foxx didn't just do an impression, he exposed the entire operating system of Trumpism. The sound, the nonsense, the blind confidence and absolute gibberish. Because Trump can call CNN fake, he can call Biden sleepy, but he can't shut down a joke that goes viral faster than one of his court subpoenas. Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx didn't just roast him, they rewrote the rules. Every Trump scandal, every lie, every tantrum, every sir. Many people are saying they've locked it all in with comedy so sharp, so brutally on point, it'll echo longer than any of his speeches. Trump built his whole brand on being untouchable, the guy who always gets the last word. But a joke? A perfect joke? He'll never outrun that, because laughter is one thing he can't control, and that might just be the biggest blow of them all. Here you can see the next video. Click on it. Trust us. If you thought this was wild, just wait until you see what Trump does next.